campaign. We're going to pick up tonight with Matthias, who, after you sell your business town, just made things simpler. You followed your way down the dungeon, and now you've caught up with the rest of the party. So, for some context about what's going on, as a reminder, we picked up last time. After you guys dealt with the Nomengrad situation, you were requested to come to uh, the city of Neverwinter to try and find the location of a cult leader who may have information about the dragon. You discover the cult's hideout, and you got about halfway through it, and then we had to cut it. So now we pick up with Matthias finding the rest of the party, and you guys staring down this pit of great oozes. All right, give me just 1 second. I have to pull the module up because I forgot to do that. All right, so you said you wanted to charge in the Sues. All right, give me just 1 second. I will set the combat encounter. Man, why do I always roll for monsters? All right, you ready, Matthias? Or are you still leveling up? All right. Let's roll initiative. Yep. Alice? She's on the map. She's right behind you. All right, we'll start combat. Buttercup, you're first. Hit him with your shot. That's a hit. All right. What's your weapon mastery on the Morning Star? No, I mean like what's it do? Oh, that's extra attack. Okay. All right. And do you want to action search for another attack? Do you want to hold it? Okay. Is that your turn? Is that your turn then? All right, Alice, your turn. Yeah. Each square is 5 feet. You have 30 feet. Okay. It's fine. All right. 16, 16 hits. All right. You sink a dagger into the ooze, and the ooze kind of like convulses and swallows your dagger. All right. Aang. All right. 12 is a hit. Ooze is mortal. All right. Is that your turn? Primrose. All right. Normal choose. All right. So 20 is not natural, but still hits. So roll your damage. All right. It is now Matthias's turn. Okay. All right, him with the smite. He does count as an undead, by the way. That is a hit. Yeah. Yep. So you just with like the power of God smite this thing in half, and like radiant light shines out from its now split form as it dissolves into the murky sewer water. All right. So Ooze A is going to try to attack Buttercup, but it has disadvantage on its attack. 8 misses. All right, and then Ooze B or Ooze C is going to move to Matthias and try to attack him. Does 18 hit you? You deflect the blow. Um, and then we'll go back to the top of the round. Buttercup. All right. A 9 does meet to beat it. All right. That kills him. This one you smack with your Morning Star and he just explodes to a pile of bones and gore. All right, Alice, your turn. All right. Is that a natural? Is that a natural 20? No, it's 19. All right, that's definitely a hit. All right, you cleave this one in twine, or you cut like a chunk of it off, but it's still standing. All right, and your turn. You guys are just like taking turns, like just push each other like back and walking forward. 23 is a hit. Your arrow looks like it misses at first, but then you realize that there's a hole to the slime as you pierced it, and the ooze dissolves like a deflated balloon. And that's the end of the combat. You guys did it. All right, so just a reminder from last time. You're looking for you. There's a stat. The door to get to where he's at has an eye socket that matches the eye that you guys have. Okay. Okay. All right. The door creaks open, and like cold air hits you. Uh, yeah, yes. You detect a very strong sense of evil coming from down this passageway. All right, just 1 second. They have this new tool that makes cutting through fog easier. So I just added more fog like an idiot. All right, let me read. Yeah, let me read real quick. The bottom of the stairway opens to a wide sanctuary with vaulted ceiling. Stone pews are arranged in orderly rows. Black candles, burning green flames, occupy niches, whatever, along the walls. Thank you. Atop a pulpit at the far end of the wall stands a jagged sculpture of an emaciated hand with one eyeball in its palm. Yes. Who the hell's Rachel, huh? Cheating on me? Okay. Um, Do you ever do with martial weapons? Yeah, you can. Great sword's a martial weapon. There is no magic in this room. However, with your channel divinity, you don't find any kind of like evil in this room, but you do recognize the symbol on the altar as the symbol of Vecna, who is the lich god of secrets. And let's see here. Actually, I have a ruler so I can measure this. About 38 feet. See here. Let's see here. From where you're standing, you do sense a large evil presence coming down the hallway. Hang on, I'll ping it. From this hallway. All right. Make me a con check or con save. That is just one short of a failure. You have a point of exhaustion now. All right. So yeah, you just have point of exhaustion. You see a group of cultists coming down the hallway. And yeah, they stop in their tracks and they say, "Intruders!" They look to the back and say, go tell Zelayer that there's intruders here." And a group of about four of them split. Do you have fireball? No, fireball. You shouldn't. It's a fifth. You shouldn't. That's a third level spell, and you get that at fifth level. No, they're cultists. Man, they could use. Go ahead. Yeah. Ray of Frost only hits one target though, just so you know. $11. That misses. Let's go ahead and roll initiative. God damn it. Alright, let's start this combat. So, Alice, you first. You are. Let me see here. About 25, yeah. Okay. 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 Mic check. 22 is a hit. You nick her throat pretty good. And she kind of like staggers in place but holds steady. Is that your turn? Wait, hang on. What class are you? You're a bard, right? Okay. I know as a bard you can use bonus action to inspire your allies. So if you use a bonus action, you can give an ally a bardic inspiration, which is like an extra dice they could roll and add to an ability check or something. Yeah. Well, what you can do is you can inspire them, and then they can hold on to that dice and use it when they want. Okay. Just keep in mind that you can do that. You can also do it outside of combat too if you need help. If you think they need help for roll or something. Okay. In that case, Aang, your turn. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely a hit. You have doubled their AC. So they're holding their throat and they're bleeding on the hallway. And then suddenly an arrow just pierces them between the eyes. And they fall over dead. Alright. Matthias, your turn, big boy. Okay. Okay. I know what Bane does. Bane makes it to where they have a minus D4 to their rolls. Alright. And that's your action? Oh, I didn't realize they had a save. I thought it was just an effect. Okay. They have a plus. They have a +0 to charisma. First one fails. Second one fails. Third one fails. Oh my god, my rolls tonight. All right. So you kind of lift your hand and you speak holy words, and like, the manifestation of your God's judgment falls upon them, and lose the, they lose like a bit of confidence in their stride. Okay. Buttercup, your turn. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, they deflect it with their sickle. All right, Primrose. Try and hit B or C. All right. Miss. As he just kind of ducks it. All right, the Cultist turn. Cultist B is going to try to attack Matthias. You got a 10, and then minus D4. You got a 7, which was a miss. And then the second one is going to try to attack you as well. That's a 6. Minus 2. So 4 misses as well. As their weapons merely scrape off your armor. Alright, it's going to be Alice's turn again. Ray, it's your turn. You good? Yeah. Alright. Yeah. But you try to like do a cool move where you put your hand on Matthias' shoulder and like jump over and stab him, but you end up scraping the ceiling and just kind of bonk into the side of his head. All right, Aang, your turn. B and C. All right, that's a hit. On C, you pierce his shoulder. All right. Is that your turn? All right, Matthias, you go. Okay. That's a hit. You split him in twain. Okay. All right. Buttercup's turn. All right. That's a hit. So he raises his hand and says, I surrender! And he's cut off as an arrow pierces his throat. Yeah, fuck your TOS. They have a couple small trinkets related to Vecna. Things like small, reliquies of, like, hands with eyeballs. Th- but they also have sickles. And that's all they really have on them. Alright, so you guys clear into this room now, I'm assuming. Okay. Uh, Makeshift cots are strewn about two adjoining caverns, separated by an open doorway. Several individuals in gray robes slumber here peacefully despite the flickering torch, except they don't because you fucking killed them. No, they're dead. They're the cultists you guys just fought. Totally stealth killed. Hang on, I'm setting up a boss thing here. Give me a second. You fell into you fell into the back room. Sorry, bro. Okay, hang on. Cacophonous whispers echo throughout this expensive cavern. Expansive, not expensive. An imposing human cultist in a sweeping robe stands against the wall, chanting. His oily hair is slicked back and his skin is gaunt and gray. Carved into the floor before him is a runic circle that pulses with sickly green light. Two cultists, one human, one elf, stand inside the circle, heads thrown back and mouths agape. Their leader commands, now release your secrets onto me, and let the truths hidden in your souls come forth and become stronger. As in response, the cultist silhouettes warp into two lanky, shadowy entities. So, Nah, it does. In 5e, it's literally just like if you can like swing it, then it could be here. Because it's more you summon the beam than it is like it directly beam from the moon. All right, let's go ahead and roll initiative. Nice. All right, you guys ready? Let's do this. All right, Buttercup, you're first. Who? All right, that is a hit. Remember, you guys need the boss alive. All right. All right. Next up is the cultist. These three are going to attempt to go here. One's gonna run. One's gonna run as close as they can here. Same thing with this guy, and this guy's gonna bring it through right here. So the 3 rounds are gonna make 3 attacks against you. 14 hit. Buttercup. 7 misses. 12 misses. All right. That's the cultist's turn. It's now Alice's turn. All right. That's a hit. Now, are you one-handed or are you two-handed it? Like, are you using the sword with 2 hands or 1 hand? The roll the D10 one. Yes. This should be a small thing. It says versatile D10 or whatever. No, that's no versatile is just what the sword has naturally. It just means you can wield it one handed or two handed. Oh no, that's mastery only gives you access to its property. Let me pull up a character sheet so I know what I'm talking about. What? Yeah. And then what's your plus damage? Alright, well, you don't decapitate him, but man, do you fucking hit him. You slice him across, like, he, like, deflects your sword a little bit, but you still manage to cut him from, like, shoulder to hip. And he's just like, ah, gods. Alright, it is the boss's turn. He is going to cast commands on Buttercup. Buttercup, I need you to make a this is a wisdom save. You succeed. He tries to tell you to grovel, but you just say, with that, he's going to back up 5, 10, 15. You get an attack of opportunity. Please go back up here behind the shadows. Go ahead and make your attack. That's a hit. So even though he like, draws to draw like a blade out of his robe and back up, but he can't deflect your attack in time, and you manage to land a solid hit right into his midsection. But he's then gonna use a bonus action and drink a health potion. Right. 7 plus 4, that is 11. All right. That's his turn. Next up is the shadows. One's going to come down here. One's going to come down here to you. And another one's going to go up here to get Ray Ray. All right, it's going to roll a hit. 21. If it's the same as your AC, it meets it, it beats it. All right. Take 5 necrotic damage. Okay. There's another effect too. And then you lose 3 points of strength. Yeah. Just here. I'll lower. Here, let me lower yours. I'll lower it for you real quick. I'll just refresh your thing when I tell you when. Okay. Uh, yeah. Go ahead. As when it strikes you, it seems to put its hand through your armor, and you feel it like grab your inner like soul as you feel weaker. All right, and then now it's its turn to hit Ray Ray. Oh right, I forgot. It's just whenever you get hit, you can as long as you have it when you get hit, the creature takes that much damage too. All right, all right, and then Shadow A is going to attack Ray Ray for 22. I'm assuming 22. You take 4 necrotic damage. You lose 4 points of strength. Which again, I will update for you real quick. All right, just refresh your page when you can, Ray Ray. All right. That being said, it is Matthias' turn. Would you like to smite? All right. As you go to, as you go to swing your sword down, it just kind of sidesteps your sword. All right, and your turn. All right. All right, go ahead and roll the hit. That hits. So as it kind of sidesteps Matthias, it gives you an opening, and you fire. The arrow skidding off the back of Matthias's armor as he's knelt down from the swing, and with that skid, you nail it right in the torso, and it lets out a shriek. Wait, Aang, you're a rogue. You get sneak attack, brother. Yeah. Now it's within 5 feet of your target. Oh, you're good. You can use Hunter's Mark if you want. Who do you mark as your target? Okay. Uh, what color would you say your magic is? So, uh, a greenish kind of hue appears around the shadow B as you mark it as your sworn target. All right. I'm gonna look at Hunter's Mark here in a second, but for now, it's Primrose's turn. Okay. That's a miss. Okay. It is Buttercup's turn. A 10 does miss as you your weapon seems heavier in your hands as you go to strike, and it just catches it and tosses it aside. The cultists are now going to try to attack you. 19 misses. 18 misses. 20 misses. And then now for Ray Ray. 21's a hit, right? That's a 5, 2. Ray Ray, you take 5 slashing damage. And 1 necrotic damage. 17 to hit Ray Ray, which does hit. She's an AC of 16. Yeah. So that's 2 slashing and 1 necrotic. And then 8 misses. Now it's Ray Ray's turn. Healing hands, healing hands. Not that kind of not that kind of land hands. This isn't scout camp. Yeah. I'll say I'll say because technically they use tax opportunity, I'll say you disengage for your action so you don't get hit. Otherwise, that's like 4 attacks for free coming at you. Do you want to do that? This so if you would move right now without disengaging, the 3 cultists in the shadow would get an attack of opportunity because you're moving out of their range. But if you disengage, it's like you're backing away safely. Oh, it's just something you say. And you just okay. All right. So now you that was your action to disengage, but you can still use your bonus actions to use like inspiration or if you got anything you use for bonus action. How do you inspire him? So you tell him, be calm, be swift, and smile. You could be, oh, dude, you could be. You know what's funny? He hasn't. Thankfully, he hasn't raged this fight yet. So you tell him, rage, but rage against them. All right, I got you. So now, Buttercup, you have a D6 you can add to an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw. All right, yeah. It is now Zalair's turn. He is going to spend his action to drink. He's, he is going to. he's going to, for his action, drink another health potion. You get the full effect of 12. And then for his main action, and then for his bonus action, he's going to cast a spiritual weapon. He's going to cast it within here and try to strike Buttercup with it for mocking him. But Buttercup dodges it. It was a spiritual sword. Oh, 18. 18. Are we dead ass, chat? All right, it's the Shadow's turn. The Shadow A is going to move to, I'll say, probably here in front of Primrose. And then he's going to attempt to, I almost said attempt to touch you, but that doesn't sound right to me. He's going to attempt to take a swipe at you. 9. He swings too high. All right, Shadow B's turn. He's going to try to hit Matthias now. 16 to miss. I will say, because Matthias would probably know this, these count as undead, the shadows do. Well, let's hear it, because it's your turn. All right. You're going to try to spear him? That's a hit, definitely. What's that mean? Mm-hmm. Oh, damn. So you, like, pin him with your spear or your javelin, and just your god's guidance is like, fuck him up. All right. It is Aang's turn. Or you can long range shoot your, or, or you can hit the, or you could hit the one that has 100 mark and do extra damage to it. All right, roll a hit. Right. That's a hit. And Hunter's Mark does an extra d6 force damage. Yeah. So maybe his ranger used something more, but I don't think so. You watch as the shadow begins fading in and out of existence. No, it's still alive. You just got close. All right, is that your turn? All right, Primrose, you go. Pray. 5 feet. All right, that's a hit. However, your poison spray has no effect as it is immune to poison. Got it. He has a javelin through his thigh. He's like, yeah, I'm not moving too fast. Yes. All right. Wait, hang on. That's an action, right? You use your action to do poison spray. Okay. All right, top of the round, Buttercup. Buttercup, would you like to rage? Buttercup just like with a crooked smile lets out like a hearty laugh that turns into a furious roar as he begins to rage. You get advantage on that, remember. So roll again. The 11 misses. Would you like to action surge? Because this thing you don't want touching you again. Reckless, remember? That's a hit. You uppercut, and then you also +2 from the thing. So in total, you did 16 damage. So you uppercut him with your mace, and you watch as like he like fades into fire and shadows. He dies, and you can move your hunter's mark. Just who do you want on next? All right, Buttercup. I believe that's your turn. All right, the cultist turn. Second verse, same as the first. A little bit louder, a little bit worse. Here we go. 15, miss. Dirty 20, still a miss. 17's a miss. All right, one attack against Ray Ray. 15, miss. Two against Matthias. 19's a miss. And so is a 13. I am rolling like shit. All right, Alice, your turn. Ray Ray, she's muted again. Yeah. Well, he's within longsword distance. All right. That's a nat 20. All right. All right. So roll your d10. All right. Double that to 22 because of crit. Ray Ray, how do you kill this cultist? You disembowel this man as you drive your sword into his crotch. As he hunches over in pain, screaming, you, with a mighty stroke, I hate that I said that, rip the sword upwards and split his face open as well, and everything in between, as he falls backwards, dead. Matthias, you feel that kind of sympathy pain when you see someone get kicked in the balls? Alright. Is that your turn, Alice? I'm gonna take that as a yes. Because how do you top that? Alright. It is the boss's turn. Seeing, this fight's going one way, he's going to decide to dive into the fight come up here and with the Eldritch sword drawn, he's going to attempt to attack Buttercup. 24 is a hit because it's a nat 20. 8 slashing damage, reduced to 4 because you're raging. And 6 necrotic damage. He gives you that oh shit look. And he's using a bonus action to command the sword to make another attack on Matthias this time. Miss. You gotta love having 2 tanks in the party. Oh, you're right. You have the fucking adamantine plate. You bastard. I love you though. Alright, it's the Shadow's turn. He's going to attempt to swipe at Gabby. A natural 1. Would you like an attack of opportunity? Means you have to make an attack with a melee weapon though. Melee weapon, yeah. Alright. That's a hit. So he winds up to go strike you. But you see an opening and you drive your sickle like across you rake a sickle across like his side, and he kind of jumps back in pain. Matthias, your turn. Okay. You avenge. You have advantage on that. Yeah. Yeah. All right. No, but he is fucking hurt. All right. Aang's turn. All right. Go ahead. Hit. Yes. He's still standing, but really hurt. Primrose, your turn. All right. That's a miss. All right, is that your turn? Top of the round. Buttercup's turn. Reminder: you want the boss alive. Well, he hits a javelin through his leg, a giant cut across his chest. He's been burned, beaten. I think he's ready to surrender. I'll give you advantage because you're raging. What do you say to? What do you say to him? Let's see if it'd be enough. Fuck no, baby. All right, let's see here. Give him disadvantage. Yeah, no, he's like, yeah, fuck this. I surrender. Yeah. Seeing as like his guts are about to spill out of his chest, he's like, you know what? I think surrender sounds good. The shadow poofs. All right. The the runic circle suddenly hisses and flashes with lurid light, as if being exhausted or extinguished. The glow of the ruins dims as a shadowy smoke rises from the carvings. The smoke gathers in the center of the chamber, where it coalesces to an apparition of an emaciated skull with one glowing green eye. The aberration speaks in a hissing baritone. Good news, Zephyr. Though your efforts have been disappointing, you have brought me new points of interest. The apparition swirls to look at each of you in turn. Yes, there's great potential here. May we meet again, but until then, I have my eye on you. The apparition explodes into streaks of shadow, passing through each of you with a whisper scream before vanishing. Matthias, you feel sick to your stomach. Hopefully, you're not wearing a helmet. Um, so each of you get a supernatural gift. So for All right, we're gonna go down the list here. So let's start with Buttercup. Roll a dice. Any dice will do. Okay. You gain. Let's see here. So you get Charm of the Eldritch Eye. You can cast Clairvoyance as an action that uses a spell slot requiring no materials. Once used 3 times, the charm vanishes. So you look on your hand, and there's now an eyeball carved into your hand, or like tattooed into your hand, I guess. Yeah. Matthias, roll dice. Any dice will do. If you roll D100, I will throw something at you. I think that's odds. Yeah, it's odds because it ends with 1. You get Charm of the Creeping Hand. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack roll using a weapon or unarmed strike, you can infuse your strike with life stealing energy. Your attack deals an extra 1d10 necrotic damage, and you gain 5 temporary hit points. Once used 5 times, the charm vanishes. Yeah, so while you're praying, you look on your wrist and you see a emaciated hand with 5 fingers sticking up. I'll add it to your character sheets. Alice, your turn. You muted again. You get the creeping hand charm, which is the. Alright, and then we'll go Primrose. Yes. God, why do you gotta roll the big ones? I did say any dice, didn't I? That's even, so you get the uh, Charm of the Eldritch Eye. And then finally, Aang. That's even, I believe. So you get the Charm of the Eldritch Eye as well. I wish they had a section for supernatural gifts on here. Hang on. So the the city guard comes in here, and they see all the cultists surrendered, and you guys get 5 gold pieces per cultist kept alive. Uh, I believe. Let me see real quick. He's worth 15. All right. So he explains too that he knows the dragon's name and a possibility of where his lair is. They say the dragon's name is Cryobane, and it's possible that he's laired down at Icespire Peak. It was once an orc stronghold, and orcs might have found another lair if my hunch is correct. And with that, it was a lot of upkeep to do, and that's kind of all I have prepared for the session, honestly. So I think, yeah. All right, what do you guys think? You have fun? All right. Well,